Hello. Okay, so I just came on to have a chat. I'm all about talking about things carnivore, ketovore. I'm really not dogmatic about not a single plant food shall pass your lips. I am all about us all trying to figure out what is healthiest for us, what makes us feel the best, what is getting us to our goals, which is optimal health. I mean, we all have to be here for optimal health because without our health, we have nothing. We all know that. Yes, it's awesome to have weight loss. Yes, it's awesome to get metabolically lean and to feel amazing in your skin. Yes, yes, all that. But patience, patience and time and healing. And we have to remember we have spent decades ruining our health with being born into a society where all of these foods are considered normal, natural, even like grapes, oranges, bananas. That's not natural and normal to our bodies. Those were all modified over a period of time to be sugar bombs, to be larger and sweeter than they ever occurred out in nature. So we have to remember things like this. I when people say to me, "How do you possibly not eat fruit? Fruit's so good for you and it's delicious." Yeah. I don't have sober behavior around sweet things. Sweet is not good for me. Fructose, glucose, and sucrose. I have done a lot of research and I fully understand they are not healthy for my body. So have at it. You can eat all the fruit you would like, but I am not touching it. Thank you for joining in. Hi, Cindy Wong. Hi, Jean. Oh, Pilar and Rose, thanks for joining in. I also want to mention here that tomorrow, Wednesday night, 7 p.m., I am going to have a special live with Dr. Vera Tarman. And I am really excited to have her on because she's a MD, a specialist in food addiction and recovery from food addiction. And we are going to dig in and have a really great conversation because I have been doing my homework and leading up to all the interviews I do. I listen to a lot of their prior interviews and presentations. And it was very interesting to me to listen to her say and talk about the increasing severity of food addiction. And it might just start out with a little sugar addiction. And addictions always worsen over time. And so think to yourself in your own journey and path on this, if you have had any sort of binge eating, disordered eating, secretive eating, uh, eating alone, waiting until you're by yourself, all of these different types of behaviors and how they typically worsen over time and the draw and the desire to get back into those comfort foods is stronger and stronger and larger. And I did hear her talk on one of the videos about how in further along cases, let's call it increased severity, where I feel like I can raise my hand as a president of the Severity Club, that your addiction can evolve onto foods that you would not normally think of anybody being addicted to. Yes, sugar, chocolate, cookies, cake, ice cream, and then evolve into cereal. Cereal's always sweet, but then you get the crunchy, and then you get the corn or the oat, and that breaks down into sugar. It's all sugar, right? But evolve into somebody who is understanding that this draw to food has become a problem. And as time goes on, even in carnivore, and I openly talk about this, um, about how things like pork rinds, things like, well, I won't even call a lot of those recipes. Um, those, of course, anytime there's any sort of sweetener in it, there is the draw to eat more than we intend to eat. Nuts. There's people severely addicted to nuts, and I am one in my prior eating episodes and as my disordered eating progressed, I could not be in front of a bowl of nuts and have one handful. Never, ever. One bowl, and I would see if there's a way to refill the bowl. But to think that somebody could actually be addicted to nuts, it seems very incomprehensible to a lot of people, but trust me, it's possible. And things like cheese and things like pork rinds, swiped in cream cheese or sour cream or fried cheese, melted cheese. I'm talking about things that I have issue with, and that's why I love my sober circles kind of theory on this method, and I do have an entire video about it. Um, it's the one where there's a shovel and a foot and dirt and saying about staying out of the carb ditch. And I probably should change the thumbnail and do the sober circles on the thumbnail because it is each of us deciding for ourselves what we do and do not have sober behavior around. Uh, and you have to think really long and hard if you need to set a certain parameter around certain foods. Like I eat cheese when I'm at a restaurant and I'm ordering a bunless rare burger, bacon cheese burger, and I will get the nice cheddar, slices of bacon, and the burger. Why do I allow cheese there if I feel I don't have sober behavior around cheese? I shouldn't I just eliminate dairy? Yeah, I should, like I put in the thumbnail here, suck it up, buttercup, and just do the hard thing and say, it doesn't belong in my life. But with cheese at a restaurant, there's portion control. So I can't walk back in the kitchen and grab more cheese and fry the cheese and eat the cheese with a fork or spoon. So it's allowable. It doesn't cause me to buy it on the way home and keep it in my fridge because I just know better. But I just want to bring these things up for all of us to think about because so many people say, yeah, I started carnivore and I did so well and I lost 12 pounds and then I was wherever and there was whatever trigger and I gave myself permission and now I'm having the hardest time getting back out of the ditch and back on track. It's all the addiction in place. And when you think about different foods other than, let's say, let's say all the carby, sugar, grains, processed food that we all know 100% that we need to abstain from because it is highly addictive. Doritos, chips, everything, all of that. Pizza, gone, right? Like, at least for me, it's there's no way I'm touching that. But how did I evolve into I feel like I have from my binge eating past, volume eating disorder. Like I like to eat a whole plateful or bowl full. And I don't want to say I like to feel full. I really don't like that full feeling, but I want to feel like I've eaten enough and I'm not just portioning out a little 6-ounce burger, eating and walking away because my brain just keeps wanting to have 2 or 3 of those 6-ounce burgers, and I wanna eat until I'm comfortably satiated and not feel like I am depriving myself. So if you throw in foods to add that are in your let's just call it your food plan, and let's say it is pork rinds because heck, pork rinds are sort of a-okay on carnivore, right? Or if you make your own pork rinds out of pork belly and the pork belly skin, still, you put salt on, you do it really crisp and hard, crackling in that air fryer. Tell me you're gonna have 2 or 3 of those instead of the whole thing you just made. That's where you have to think about these things. And I'm not here to tell you, oh my gosh, now you got to be worried about everything and now you can't eat anything, because that's crazy. It's all in coming to a point of feeling free around your food choices, and your decision to eat or not eat, abstain or moderate. I'm certainly not moderating anything that's in my red circle. So my sober circles are the green, there's the yellow, and there's the red. Most of us know exactly what belongs in our red circle. Alcohol, because that leads to nowhere good when we're trying to stay on track. And it's a carcinogen. Yes, it does increase 4 different specific types of cancer. It's a toxin to your liver, does not belong in our body. It quickly convinces our ditch demon that it's okay to have the guacamole and the nachos that are in front of you when you're having the margarita or the tequila or whatever. So that's in the red circle. Grains, sugar, artificial sweeteners should really be in everybody's red circle, my opinion, but that's coming from a disordered background and a sweet and sugar addiction, and it doesn't work. So it's red. The green circle, the beef, the lamb, the eggs. I don't binge on these things. My green circle's kind of small, water. But that yellow circle, having parameters around other foods. I no longer, I know I'm probably just repeating myself, and sometimes repetition is good because sometimes for you to hear multiple times how I have behaved in the past around food and how I handle it, how I deal with it now, I'm really not keeping bacon in my fridge. And that might not be you, it's me. I have issue with bacon. I make a pound of bacon because I want to keep some cooked bacon in the fridge for quick, easy grab and go. And no, Lisa wants to eat the whole package that she just cooked because it's warm and it's crispy and it's salty. And we don't have to get on the subject of salt again because, you know, I talked, I think, in the past month or two, a little bit about the whole salt addiction and that salt actually is addictive and how different I feel eliminating it and not putting it on all of my food. And it wasn't a heavy hand of salt. It was just salting to taste like any normal person would do. Because obviously there's a point for everybody that salt is, once you go way overboard, it's like, whew. But you know what I'm talking about. Just seasoning your food with salt. Um, there's studies show causes about 11% increase in volume of food that you eat versus if there was no salt on it. And I'm just, I'm just talking about it, and I don't want somebody to end up going, you know, word on the street might already be out. Long-term carnivores dissing salt, and it's dangerous. Her message is dangerous. I actually have heard that. And you know what? That's for me to endanger my body then. I'm not telling anybody to do this. I'm telling you my experience and my research that I'm doing for my own benefit because I want to feel free with food. And I I have to say, and sometimes it's hard for me to talk about it without literally choking up, but I suffered for so long with a severe level of food addiction. And to be in this space, to feel healthy, to feel good, but still realizing for the severity of what I did in the past with food and wanting food and binging on food and consoling myself with food and comforting with food and dealing with stress and anxiety and procrastination and boredom, whatever it is or was. That was how I got my dopamine hit, evidently. Didn't know it at the time, but for how severe and how badly I suffered, I realize now that I am still dealing with, I hate to say struggling with, I like to say I am battling. I am keeping my shield up and my sword out. I know my limitations of what causes me to mentally go in a tizzy of thought patterns of what I used to be like around food. So the salt thing is just my own personal little experiment that maybe I should not have shared with anybody and just did it and did my lion thing, which is ruminant meat, salt and water, and not said anything. But that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to do anything as far as I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to tell you how simple and amazing life can be when you sort this out and when you, I always say, lean toward an animal based, a very heavily animal based way of eating. I have always said that if you moderate avocado, olives, things that are not highly detrimental in, let's say, oxalates. I don't tell anybody to eat spinach smoothies or drink almond milk or oatmeal milk or eat a lot of almonds or, different things. There's reasons behind things that I suggest strongly to avoid. And just like I tell people, if you have any autoimmune issue, you have any thyroid issue, if you have any skin issue, joint issue, eliminate the dairy and do it for a period of time until you know well and good whether it is improving your situation, whether you're able to reintroduce some back in. If you do, what happens? This is all for you to deal with for your body because each of us, I'm going to just say, I think, have damaged our bodies in different ways, or our bodies have responded to not eating the optimal human diet for a long time and has attacked different organ systems on us in different ways. And it's up to us to change that, to eliminate that, to let our bodies evolve to be healthy. So, oh, Holly, thank you so much. I'm glad you were able to join in, and I really truly appreciate your super sticker. And Holly, I never see you actually ask a question because that's one of the intents of the super sticker. You've got my attention, and you know that I know you're a long time subscriber, so you know how much I appreciate you and appreciate your super sticker. Thank you. I'm going to read through some of the comments over here. And then also, the reason why, as I was quickly, I went and played golf today. I just squeaked in 9 holes. Right, and I thought to myself, no, stay home, plan a whole live out, plan graphics, and do a topic. And I said, no, you're going to go enjoy and play some golf, and then rush home and shower and get ready and jump on and just talk and just tell you from my heart that I want for you what I have found for myself as far as the transition out of that whole life of being so strongly attached to food and habits around food. And I always just say, if I can help one person out of the misery I was in, then I will be so happy. And I just so appreciate anybody who reaches out and tells me that um, uh, you're watching and you tried to do a 90-day challenge or you did suck it up, buttercup. I love that saying. It's just so funny to me that it rings so true as far as we don't like change. We humans are we like comfort, we like routine, We like familiarity. Excuse me. And I think that it's very important to realize that many times change is necessary because we have to change from where we were at point A to get to point B. We need to make changes, right? And you don't have to make them all at once, but making change is difficult. And somebody says, "Well, how do you just stop eating um let's say bread and sugar?" You stop. You draw a line in the sand. You just say, "Suck it up, Buttercup. It's not my food. It is not food. It is not health food." And then we can go into where I talk about your mouth, whatever you are choosing to put in your mouth. Two choices. It's leading to health or harm. Two. And you decide through all your research and watching lots of us here on YouTube, there's a lot of medical professionals who are really trying to help get the word out, meaning somebody who comes from the side of being now, and I'll tell you, when I was going through school, I didn't learn about nutrition and how changing your diet could actually heal different things in your eyes. Zero of that, okay? So, I've come a long way, evolved into trying to figure this all out and trying to be one of those medical professionals out there who spends a lot of time with my patients, and I explain root cause and root cause healing and changes. Now, a lot of people are not very happy to hear about the changes that I am suggesting strongly to heal their eyes, to help their vision. I can't even believe I people who've got bleeding in their eye and they're diabetic. And I go, look, you can reverse this, you can halt this, you can stop this. And they're like, oh gosh, I can't do that. I'm Italian. I got to eat pasta and bread and wine. Okie dokie. Well, I'll see you in 6 months and we'll check how much the bleeding has progressed or not. And they're convinced that, no, my doctor said my A1C was great last time. I got it down to a 6.5. It was 11. Okie doke. Well, you know what? We really want to get it below 5.5. And we want it there without the use of medications because they're not good for you. All right. So I've gone on that tangent. I realize I could say "suck it up, Buttercup," and people will be like, "Yeah, no, not happening." But it all depends on how badly you want it. How badly do you want change? How badly do you want to feel better and get better? That's that's really what drives this. And to help that, I am a huge proponent of being in a group. You guys have kind of formed your own group here, coming in hopefully every week when I go live and I see some of the banter back and forth with people who are familiar with each other from being in here. It's great. It makes you feel like you're normal, like you're accepted. You're in a space where people are not rolling their eyes saying, "Oh God, are you still doing that meat eating thing? Really?" So I just hope that if you're not connected with some sort of group, it's just so important. And so I'll leave it at that. Um, so Jean says, "Hi, losing weight and feeling energized on mainly lion diet." That is awesome, Jean. I love to hear that. Um, there is uh, I guess I call it lion adjacent. I love that term. You know, you could say when you say mainly lion or mostly lion, I love it. That means the majority of your meals are ruminant meat, beef, lamb, bison. I tried bison for the first time last week. I loved it. I just got it was a pound, vacuum sealed cube kind of thing. I think I got it from Wild Fork. Wild Fork is a great store here, but they do mail order, and they originated in Florida. So there's lots of locations down in Florida, and now they're kind of spreading up the coast. I'm up in New Jersey. So, but they have all sorts. They have elk, they have antelope, they have some really crazy stuff. But they have all sorts of normal stuff too, but it was really good. Oh, so the lion adjacent. So some people are like, well, I do lion, but I also eat eggs. All right. Awesome. This is about figuring it out for you, feeling good and feeling that freedom of not eating things that are on your marginal list of having sober behavior around. So that's really great. Hi, Christina Dunn. Rose is in Northern Ontario, Canada. And yes, she is in my group. Rose is actually going to come on my live in a couple weeks. Is it maybe it's only, is it next week? Is already 2 months will be the lion diet update. So I have some in my group who have taken on the lion challenge together, which has been really beneficial to having the kind of group think, group support. And so I have some coming on, and nothing pre-discussed, nothing me guiding them what to say and where to guide the conversation. This is all just going to be outright conversation of those who are doing some sort of lion adjacent, and what their experience is. And even one, I believe, who was doing it really diligently, and her experience of saying, I'm tapping out. I've got to have some chicken wings and eggs tomorrow, like kind of thing. So all of that is to me just valuable testimony. It's not for me to sing the praise of this weird extreme end of carnivore. I'm not wanting that or doing that. And I'm not telling people to say, yeah, do the no salt lion and you got to try it. I think it's really beneficial for everyone to experience. But again, this is all beneficial to listen to others doing it, and maybe you'll get a connection with somebody and what they say about it and how it has changed them. Oh, thank you, Marlis. Is it Marlis? Marlies. It's Marlys. Marlis Leone. I'm going to say Marlis. I think I like that. I'm usually pretty good at attempting to read names. Marlis is in Tampa correctly, because I always played that game with myself as I entered a room with a patient chart, and it always attempted to pronounce their name correctly. And if I got it wrong, I always had them correct me. And gradually I got, I think, better and better at it. Wow, Neosho, Missouri. Carnivores in Neosho. So did I say that correctly? Neosho. I've not heard of that. Um, Same with nuts, Darcy Lee. I know, it's just, I, I really, it'd be very interesting. I don't know if I've actually ever seen an actual study about the addictive nature of nuts, but I'll probably talk to Dr. Torman about that tomorrow. Oh, and if any of you have a particular question that you would like me to ask this particular addiction specialist, then please feel free to write it in the chat. Yeah, Ms. Cashflow says sugar and food addiction, dangerous and real. Absolutely. And by listening to some of Dr. Tarman's former presentations, I got her take on intermittent fasting. And I'll ask her about extended fasting too, but knowing what her thoughts are on intermittent fasting, I'm pretty sure I'm going to know what she says about extended fasting. But she thinks it's a big trigger for people who have disordered eating and addictive behaviors around food, because it will typically cause a let's just call it a relapse, or I want to say I'm not saying somebody who intermittent fasts automatically will binge. That's not realistic either. And then I'm also cautious to talk about intermittent fasting, and if you could say, oh, 16-8 is intermittent fasting, or an 18-6, where you go 16 hours of not eating and have an 8-hour eating window, or 18 hours of not eating and then a 6-hour eating window. To me, that could be absolutely natural, where I'm not hungry. If I eat dinner at, let's say, 5 o'clock, I might not be hungry all the way until noon the next day. I didn't intentionally intermittent fast, but that's why I kind of gets me crazy on semantics, and that we have to be careful with that, because I think it's good for us to go periods of time, um, as long as your hunger isn't being triggered and squelched. Like, that's another thing I really don't like that people do, is you get a little hungry in the morning and you quick turn to the coffee with some creamer or some protein or collagen frothed in there, and that's your appetite suppressant. And I think that's really, really not healthy to do. So, um, yeah, some of you are lamenting on the cheese thing. Um, yeah, Pilar, the sugar-free gum, such a habit. I know I have that. There's certain habits that are really difficult for, I've found over the years of people to overcome. The Diet Coke, I'll just call it diet soda, and the gum, because you're just continually triggering your sweet sensors and triggering the desire for more sweet. You chew gum, and then within a period of time, it's like you're reaching for another so that you get that sugar burst again. And you just have to realize it's just a perpetual, ongoing, ongoing, ongoing feeding of that sugar addiction. And remember, and I've said this in my group because I have somebody in there getting off of sugar-free gum also, is that just the action of chewing, when you put the gum in your mouth and you're chewing, you are signaling to your body, your entire body, from the actual mechanical chewing motion, is signaling to your body to get ready. The food's coming down. It preps insulin, it preps gastric acid, it preps for the food. And so I really, aside from the fact that you're just, you know, making those companies rich that are combining a bunch of chemicals together and putting it into a hard shelled piece of gum and packaging it, and you're buying it and you're putting chemicals in your body. The it Yeah. I know, it's hard. Suck it up, Buttercup, just throw it all in the trash and don't buy it again, and think about how much money you're saving. But you gotta find it everywhere, because I know you gum chewers. I know you. It's in every drawer, it's in your purse, it's in the bathroom, it's in the car, it's in the office, it's in the desk. Yep, it's everywhere. Oh, Peaceful Wolf Retirement, thanks. I'm always so happy to share what I'm going through, because I don't maybe what I'm going through right now is eventually going to help somebody who's at this stage, and maybe somebody is at this stage where they're carnivore and they're still struggling to have peace with food, because we're still, let's say, just overeating. And um there's a lot to this. Oh, Monica, thank you for that. She said she followed my advice with the circles and put the circles in front of her. Very helpful. Yeah. So I have, well, in my membership group, I have a whole section of the sober circles with, it's a whole ebook PDF that you can download, this Sober Circles book, and it has printable um, worksheets. And I do ask that you print it and you literally write this out. I don't want this just up here where you're like, okay, yeah, alcohol's in the red, bread's in the red. Actually, you're just going to sit down and write everything. Everything that you have perfect sober behavior around is going to go in that green circle. And make up your parameters with the yellow items. And at least once a month, as that's in front of you and you refer to it over time, but at least once a month, make the decision of, do you have to kick something from the yellow circle into the red? Something that's in the green needs to have a parameter around it and put into the yellow. It's really helpful because it causes you to really think out your plan, because without a plan, we can be pretty lost when it comes to addictions. Oh, thanks, Miss E. William McCartney is asking to hit the like button before you bolt at the end. Just reminding. Thank you. Honestly, I have no idea what hitting the like button actually does in the algorithm. I know when you write comments, and even I think after the video is uploaded, if people comment, it pushes the video up higher in the algorithm, I guess. I don't know. I honestly, I don't make much money at all from doing this. Trust me, for the days and days that I spend doing the graphics for most of my videos, it's silly. I'm just doing this because I really want to. Plus, I like it. You guys are my tribe. You're my jam. And I hear, what else would I be doing on a Tuesday night without being able to hang out and have you cool people hanging here with me who are meat lovers and who aren't going to roll your eyes at me about telling you that I don't think you should be eating spinach. I just don't. Um, okay. So getting back to the tangent I just went on. Yeah, go ahead. Please hit the like. Maybe it's going to do something. Um, Wow, Malaysia. Carmen Hogan is in Malaysia. I don't know what time zone you're in there. It's 8:30 at night here, so it's probably tomorrow there. You're probably working on Wednesday. Um, and Monica says, sharing my journey and experience have gotten her back on track and encouraged her to keep going. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so appreciative of you writing those kind of comments, because it really makes me feel good that what I'm doing is helping somebody. It really does. Um, and carnivores in Neosha, yes, we're all vulnerable. This is not easy. If this were easy, everybody'd have a flat stomach and just be out hiking and not ever go to a doctor. If this was easy, this is, absolutely, and I'll talk about this with Dr. Tarman tomorrow. This is in my mind for sure, and she says this too, the most difficult addiction to overcome. It is. There's triggers everywhere, and this food is so normalized, and it has to be understood how difficult this is. And I don't want to say give yourself grace and go ahead and fall in the ditch and give yourself permission. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this is serious, and you have to take it seriously, because if you don't and you keep staying in that cycle of the addiction, in and out and in and out, is you're just committing slow suicide, because you're still going to end up harming your body, because you're still eating that addictive food and you're still in the addictive cycle where, trust me, I know what a binge is like, and it's not pretty, and it's humiliating. And it took me a long time actually to come out and be open about it, because, here I am. I'm like a successful doctor. I was married, a family, and everything looked so great on the outside. And I was suffering miserably. And it took me a long time because it was so secretive. Nobody knew. And it took me a long time to be able to be okay with talking about it, because it is rather humiliating to let people know that, yeah, I would sit and eat an entire package of cookies and container of ice cream and more. So that's it. And again, but I feel like if people don't talk about it, then others will just sit in their isolated addictive misery. And not understand that there's other people out there that have been there and suffered that and come out on the other side of it, because it's very possible to overcome this addiction. And I'm here to give you hope and tell you I have so many people in my groups who are now, we'll call it sober, abstinent for 3 years, 4 years. I've been running my groups for, I guess this is my fourth year. And it's really rewarding to see that people, when you have the power of the community and the group, that you can overcome this. Don't sit in silence and isolation in your home, because it's really, really difficult to fight this, especially when everybody around you is eating your addictive stuff. So, uh, let's see. Darcy, suck it up, Buttercup. Yeah, sometimes it's just, uh, you know what? So the other day, this past week, I've been dealing with needing to get a new car and get rid of my car, because I needed a SUV instead of a sporty little coupe, because I'm having beach retreats. I need to be able to transport lots of food, people potentially to come to the gym with me, or we might do a spa day during the retreat. We might go up to a meat packing ranch plant. I've been arranging with Susie Strasburger. I'm going to see if she'll have us, a little group of us up. And so in any case, here I go on the tangent again. I need an SUV. So I dread with a passion the process of negotiating, haggling, bargaining, feeling like I'm being taken. I feel like I'm just this little sheep walking into a pack of wolves when I walk into a dealership. And you know what? I changed my mindset with it. I did a lot of homework going into it, and I just said, "Look, suck it up, Buttercup. This is just part of life, and you don't have somebody with you to deal with this." It was always my husband would always do this kind of stuff, right? So it's like, okay, here we go. And I did a great job. I'm so proud of myself. And I said, you know what? It wasn't comfortable and it's not my forte, but I made it my business to try to learn something from the process. And I definitely did. I learned how to get the upper hand and how to pit one dealership against another who both had the exact car that I wanted. So how did I get on that tangent? Oh, suck it up, Buttercup. That's what I told myself last week. Just I didn't I got to do the uncomfortable things, got to do the hard things, and that's just a great set saying to just get yourself motivated. Um, thank you, Missy. No graphics required. We can just have me hanging here and talking. I love that, because this is really, like I said, enjoyable for me to have people here who are in the same mindset, and we're here for the common goal of getting healthy. And we've all come from different places and different sufferings, different health issues, different addiction issues, different emotional issues regarding all of this. And it's hard. And being able to talk about it just makes it really obtainable, like to know that we can discuss it. And like I talked, was it last week? I think I had the message of keeping this all simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't over stress about blood work numbers. Don't stress about macros and I didn't get enough protein, didn't get enough fat, and just just try to think to yourself, what's healthy, health or harm, right? What's in your green circle? Depending on your situation, a lot of you are probably in family situations and you don't have the luxury that I do of just being able to make whatever meat I want pretty much twice a day and just go about my day. And it gets really simple. And I know it's difficult. I though lived in that family situation where my kids still were eating mac and cheese and pizza and pancakes and cereal and ice cream, because I just didn't know better back then to um, and I was not about to change everybody. Uh, I tried making healthy pancakes with mashed banana and coconut flour, and I forget how I did it, but an egg, and, then, "Mom, can I just have a regular pancake for," and I'm like, and then try to explain to a 10-year-old about, "This is healthy, this isn't." "No, my health teacher said you have to eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, and you don't eat any, so there." Boy, that was a fun period of time. Um Okay, Mia says, "What do you eat after having a stomach virus?" I said, "I'll reach for the crackers." Ugh, yeah, 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 no crackers. Um, First of all, one of the biggest things that I find that people do are like, "All right, what am I gonna eat? What should I eat? What could I eat when I don't feel good and I've got whatever?" Most of the time, I have to say, if you really think about it, your hunger out the window. You just lose hunger. And it's, I believe, our body's natural response to get you to fast to help heal you quicker. I know when I got that wacky um, little thing that came around during quarantine, um, that shall be nameless, or else who knows what they'll do to the video when they scan them for these words. But I totally lost my appetite for 5 days. Did not eat for 5 days. Had 0 hunger. And that 5th day, felt 80% better, started getting an appetite and ate. And so, but if you have a stomach virus, I can't imagine that you're hungry. Now, maybe reaching for the crackers is a way of thinking, "Oh, if I could just put some bread in there, it will settle my stomach." But I just say, just go with your so, well, let's get back to then maybe if you are hungry. I'm bone broth all the way, as far as what to put in your stomach and what to eat when you've got a virus. Oh, thanks, Francine. I'm glad you found me too. Um, yeah, yeah. It's, when you say you're trying to suck it up, I know, it's a process. I know at the very beginning, just the thought of never eating a toasted bagel again when I went to a diner. We've got diners here in New Jersey that got really great breakfasts, and you just get a toasted bagel with your omelet, and just the thought of never eating that again, and that's not healthy, was so hard to comprehend. But just bit by bit, just keep hanging in the group. I know you are coming into the meeting. So, for any of you who are interested in any type of membership group, I go live kind of like this almost every day with my group members. And it's a small group. Everybody gets to ask questions and talk and participate. And um, it's really worthwhile to be able to keep yourself immersed multiple days a week in that kind of scenario. So I'm really happy to be able to do it at this point still. I mean, I'm in the 4th year. I don't know how many years I'm going to go on it, but for right now, it's really rewarding just knowing how helpful it is. So I will put a link. Actually, here, I'll just write in the comments, just why did I just mess that up? Hang on a second. There we go. It should show up in the comments on the bottom now. I just put a link to the group. I'll have it in the show notes for people who are not here live, but focus on that why. That's right, Janet. The why that makes you cry. There is a why that all of you who are watching this right now have figured it out, to have figured your way to this channel, because I know you're here for um, you're not here just to listen to me chat and look at the cow that I put up on the wall back there. You're here because you figured out and learned, and were watching other people, and then maybe somehow saw me on an interview and came over here. But you're here because this is where your path took you because you've had issues in the past that led you here. There is, well, I can't say that. I do know one person. I was going to say there is no person who just randomly starts saying, I wonder what is the healthiest way to eat. I'm going to research that. Oh, it's this. Okay, let's just wipe out the cupboards and the fridge and just eat meat and eggs and seafood, whatever the version is. But it's 99.9% of the time you have your why. Maybe you just want to be alive long enough to attend your grandchildren's weddings or play with your grandkids on the floor and be able to get down on the floor and get up, or maybe run with them at the park, or maybe it's to be able to travel and to hike up to different places instead of saying, oh, I can't do that, or trying to read through the different trips, but oh, can't do that. That's a little too much. I want to be able to do everything. I want to be able to just keep embracing and enjoying all that I can and not be limited by health issues. Oh, hi, Susanna Cortez. Thanks for joining. Bison ribeyes are on some restaurant menus, leaner than beef, but good. Interesting. I'm trying to think. I think I had buffalo at a local restaurant, had it on special, and it was leaner, but still good. I put some butter on it. This was a few months ago. Oh, hi, Christina Dunn. First time on my live. Glad you could be here. So yes, I do try to answer questions here. Rose says, yes, love the Lion diet. So far, so good. 37 days in. Awesome. Miss E has been on Lion for about 5 months. My goodness, cutting salt out has helped me to not eat to the point of feeling too full. And that's what I'm experiencing, Miss E, also, is that I am really enjoying the flavor of just the meat. I am really realizing that when I salt the food, whether I'm salting the burgers or salting the steak, the majority of when I put that bite in my mouth and chewing and swallowing, the majority of what I'm tasting is salt because it dissolves in your saliva, it bathes the salt receptors on your tongue, you're chewing and you're swallowing. Whereas now, in the most, I'll say, bizarre, unusual way, I'm actually tasting the flavor of the meat, and each meat tastes different. Flank and ribs taste different than ribeye, tastes different than beef ribs, taste different than brisket. It's really pretty cool. And I do push it away, I believe, earlier than when it's salted. So that's just been my experience. And I know I don't want the haters to hate, because I've already gotten comments in the comment section about how I'm doing a disservice to people by proposing this preposterous thing, and that it is horribly unhealthy and dangerous. I'm not giving health advice here. I try to remember to put a stupid little legal disclaimer about this is not medical advice. Make sure you talk to your doctor. And I'm not giving medical advice. I'm giving you my experience. So that's why I just say, please, haters don't hate. Just do what makes you happy and makes you feel good. Started out with about 3 or 4 ounces every 2 to 3 hours because your tummy couldn't handle more at one sitting. Yeah, some people need to do smaller meals. Ronald Gabidis. Did I say that right? Gabidis or Gabidis? It's one of those, I think. Was at 273. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting to pull these over. And I tried so many ways to lose weight, started feeling starved until I went keto and was able to get down to 255, went to carnivore, able to get to 203. Wow. Ronald, you're almost in Wonderland. I hope you come on here and Shout it from the rooftop so we can celebrate Wonderland and 4 more pounds. In high school, you were at 212. Wow, so you're already lower than high school weight. So excited for you, Ronald. This is the kind of stuff I love hearing about. Oh boy. Holly, gum is your last vice. I use pure. Kids hate it because not much flavor. Yeah, but just remember what I said about that chewing action and how it activates the acid and changes the microbiome in your stomach, and how you're just chewing and swallowing chemicals from a company. Only chew it in the car traveling. I'll quit, I promise. Okay, Holly. Okay, I'm counting on you to suck it up, Buttercup. All right, Holly, whatever you have left right now, you're not buying any more. You have until that last piece. And then, so it's only when you're in the car traveling. So then maybe you're going to have to make sure you have something to drink, something to put in your mouth. I know it. That's what people say. It's the chewing action. And now here's the thing too. I know we're running out of time. Gosh. I talk about this whole transfer addiction and cross addiction. And this chewing thing is tough because I don't want you chewing on a straw. I don't want you chewing your nails. I don't want you chewing. I want when, and I'll tell you this. So guys, this is really some nitty gritty personal stuff for me here. But the gum chewing thing, I used to bite my nails as a kid, and I finally had stopped that. But sometimes I have a habit of biting the inside of my mouth, my lip. I don't know if any of you else have that habit. It's a stress thing. And sometimes I'll catch myself doing that and literally biting the inside of my lip. And I have to recognize that as it's not a nervous habit because I don't do it when I'm nervous. I notice when my level of stress is higher. I was probably doing it sitting across from the salesman at the car dealership. Doing it. Yeah. But it's really important for us to recognize these things and to realize I don't have to chew anything. And the best place for, and really you could read a lot into this, that we should have our tongue parked up on the roof of our palate and the roof of our mouth. Your tongue should rest and park up there. And unless we are actively eating, we should be breathing entirely through our nose. And to think that, you know, when we're doing these weird different habits, take a deep breath and take 4 long deep breaths and do the box breathing. Go onto YouTube and type in box breathing. There's some really cool relaxation things, but maybe you're going to need to listen to a guided meditation while you drive and think, you know, it's really weird. I know these things, these recommendations, suggestions kind of sound a little strange, but I'm just telling you that we tend to transfer that energy of why and what we're doing onto other things, and that there are healthier alternatives, and getting rid of the gum, the money you're spending on it, what it's doing to your body, and the, you know, the action of it, instead of just staying calm, keeping your tongue rooted up there on your palate and breathing through your nose, and just, it's going to be okay. Listen to some music, listen to a guided meditation when you're in the car. We're going to have to work on this, Holly. Okay. All right, guys. The hour has come and gone so quickly. Oh, hi, Tracy Kinsley. I love having you in my tribe too. Thank you for, got to pull you over here, and such a pretty picture. Yeah, Tracy and I go a ways back with discussion. So I've done private one-on-one coaching all through for a very long time. Oh, thank you. Who just did that? Steve Large, thank you so much. 4 months carnivore. I wonder if I can pull your question over. It's not letting me. 4 months carnivore. I last week or so, I'm getting severe muscle cramps, feet, ankles, calves, biceps. Suggestions, love to join your community. Gosh, it's so strange to think after 4 solid months carnivore that all of a sudden you're getting severe muscle cramps. But think long and hard. I want you to journal and write down. I don't know if you're good about tracking. I want you to write down everything that you're doing as far as how much you're drinking, if you're salting, not salting, electrolytes, no electrolytes. Did you change anything? Did you change where you're getting your meat from? Like all these kind of things. Start tracking everything. And then I want you to report back next week in my live. I think I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as ongoing, if maybe I will stick to doing these Q&As, if I'm gonna see what kind of feedback. So leave comment for me down here if these kind of things are helpful for you, and, I will, keep up on them. All right, thank you so much for joining in. I really do truly appreciate being here for you all and having you all here for me. So have a great sleep. Remember to prioritize sleep. And if you are not already getting outside within the first 1 to 2 hours, even if it's just, I get out of my bed and I crack open I have a slider door in my bedroom wall, and it doesn't matter if the sun's out or if it's raining, as long as the sun has risen, it's daytime. Get sunlight into your eyes first thing in the morning, and let's report back if we notice any changes. But it's really important to get that sunlight message into our eyes, to our brain. Our eyeballs are connected to the brain. All right, have a great sleep, and I will see you next time.